All right, what are we talking about football related, Mark?
Football. Well, fall camp starting.
Fall camp starts tomorrow. We got
What
players.
needs to get accomplished this month?
What needs to get accomplished this month?
Yes.
Oh boy, that's a loaded. You're just trying to get little. You're just trying to create segments for your channel throughout this week. Well, I'll tell you what needs to be accomplished this month is you got to figure out a rotation up front. You got to figure out who your 5 best guys are. I mean, we've discussed this. I think Mason Richmond and Logan Jones are pretty much locked into their spots. But boy, your 2 guard spots and your right tackle, to me, are completely up for grabs, and rightfully so. Dejon Parker transfers in, and the perception is that he's going to have a chance to start. But Jennings Dunker has been impressive. He won another Solon hail bay, whatever it's called, Bay of Hail tossing competition here this past month. Dude's a freak athletically, physically, but it doesn't mean you can play right tackle. I know he ran a lot at right during spring. And of course, you have a plethora of guys on the inside that are competing for spots. Nick DeYoung, Connor Colby, Tyler Ellsbury, Bo Stevens, Rusty Feth. I mean, they have so many bodies. So where do these guys end up fitting in? I know I called into your Big Ten show after I hosted your Big Ten show for a while last night. I called in later. And that's one of my things. I'm higher on the offensive line. Maybe it's because I'm buying into hype. But if people have been following me, understand how I operate, I would hope the people who have followed me for the last couple of years know that I'm not a hype guy typically. And I don't buy into the narratives that are out there with the media. I knew as soon as Kirk Ferentz made a comment about the offensive line looking better during media days that was going to be the hot topic. And sure enough, it was with the media. That means nothing to me. I'll tell you what does mean something to me is when I hear from current players or people who are connected to the program, hey, this looks a lot better. And that's significant to me. And I did hear that again this afternoon from somebody well in touch with the program that they think the offensive line, it sounds like the offensive line has come a long way. Now, as Don Patterson has reminded us over the last couple of seasons, when that gets brought up, well, the offensive line has to get better. Well, here's the problem. The other defensive lines are also trying to get better across the league. So, how much of an improvement will we see? I don't know, but I think that's got to be priority number one.
Going to my buddy Phil Steele here for the offensive line, his brief analysis from 2022, looking forward to 23. So 5 offensive linemen back that started 3+ games in 21, and the career starts climbed to 44, meaning they had 44 career starts in 2022, which is a pretty low number, actually. But the starters were a junior, 3 sophomores, and a freshman, 2 upperclassmen, 2 deep. Defensive lineman Logan Jones moved to center, the same move that Tyler Linderbaum made, and the numbers were woeful. 2.9 yards rushing per carry and 38 sacks. They did take on a rugged schedule of opposing defenses. This year, they lose 1 backup, and they add second-team MAC offensive guard Rusty Feth and highly sought-after Saginaw Valley transfer Dejon Parker. The career starts climb to 114. That's how much more experience they have on this offensive line than last year's. However, of course, much of that is coming in from Division II and from Group of 5 play. The career starts climbs to 114, and they should be vastly improved and the best in at least 3 years. I don't know the best of what. I don't know what that means, but
I'm sure the best.
Oh, the best that they've been in 3 years.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say. If this offensive line can be as good as 2020 was, and if you're looking at if assuming that the cycle can we finally turn the wheel enough to get 360 degrees here, if they can be what they were in 2020 during the COVID shortened year, I have no doubt this team can win 11 games. I'm not saying they will, because that's hard to do, hard to predict, but I have no doubt that this team. How many times have we said this? We brought up again last night on your call-in show. I think what people don't realize is they won. Yes, they went. I know they went 7-5 in the regular season, Mark, but they won 8 games last year with literally one of the worst offenses in the history of the Big Ten Conference. and a difficult schedule. That's what's insane about this. Bad quarterback play, bad play calling, difficult schedule. They win 7 games. So, yeah, you lost a couple guys. You lose Sam Laporta of the NFL. You replace him with Eric All and a improved Lachey. You lose Jack Campbell, but you prospectively replace him with Jay Higgins, who's taken a big jump, and an all-ACC linebacker in Nick Jackson. Riley Moss gets replaced by a guy who sat out all last year due to injury, who's a senior, in Jamari Harris, who has experience, and an improved Cooper DeJean.